Welcome back to the GSL Code A, where we are watching who is going into the up and downs, who's going to Code S. We just saw Youngwa fall and Leenock rise. Such a terrible place to be right now in the up and downs, to be honest. You're going up against all the other failures who now have to practice Wings of Liberty once more.
Did you just say failures?
Yes, they are. They have all failed.
Yeah,
it's harsh words, man, but up and downs is basically where all the rejects of Code A go, if you want to be the most brutally honest. And now they have to practice on Wings of Liberty.
I don't know what to say. I would probably phrase it a little bit different. But, yeah, well,
I'm just intentionally trying to be vulgar at this point, but...
yeah, you certainly caught me off guard.
Because, to be honest, with the play we saw from Youngwa last game, that was nothing but failure. It was a build-over loss. He got a little bit unlucky. He didn't scout the Spire. But we're going into a new match now. YoDa versus MarineKing Prime. Terran versus Terran. A matchup we don't see all too often these days.
Yeah. YoDa is going to play versus MarineKing. I'm not quite sure why he suddenly looks like Youngwa. That is one of the mysteries that we will probably never solve.
Yeah.
Maybe they are twins and nobody told us. He looked very different earlier when I met him and talked to him together with you, so...
There he is! Oh, look at that!
Oh, wow, and he changed.
He's one of these shapeshifter players. I hate that.
He transforms.
Sometimes they can even change their IDs on the screen.
I'm actually confused. Who played the last game, Wolf? Who really played? I mean, I know what we saw, but can we trust our eyes in this situation?
I don't believe we can.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to do some fingerprint tests after this.
It might have been an illusion, maybe a hallucination, we don't know. But what we know for sure is that we have a Terran versus Pro. Nope, Terran versus Terran coming up. I'm getting all confused with it.
Alright, it's on Icarus. Terran versus Terran on this map can be crazy because of those gold patches and the rich geyser. We'll find out what these players have planned. YoDa coming off of a decent run. Can he stop the MarineKing himself?
We're gonna find out now because we're jumping into the first game on Icarus. This is MarineKing versus YoDa at the GSL Code A with Carl and Wolf. To the top left, in purple, for LGIM, we have...
LGIM YoDa.
His chance to go to Code S. His teammate was not able to get his ticket. Will he get his to advance? He has to beat the guy to the bottom right. Starting for the Prime team, it is...
MarineKing Prime.
He is teal, in fact, a very rare color selected in GSL.
And this should be a really good match. Not only because we have both players in one of their strongest matchups in the Terran versus Terran, but also it's a little bit of a revenge match for YoDa, who lost to MarineKing recently with a 2-0. That was at the IGN 6 International Regional.
MarineKing is going against his Avenger by going double barracks very far forward. 11-11. Boom.
He is certainly putting them on the table, isn't he?
A lot of players will go for a command center first on this map, and YoDa might scout this right away. Nope.
Ah, that would have been so awesome for him. But now this is this is really, really dangerous. The big problem is, of course, he's scouting, he's going to the bottom right, and what he is going to see is that MarineKing just doesn't have anything. But if MarineKing is able to execute a lot of aggression here, YoDa might fall to it. The big problem for him is that he just doesn't know what's going on. He has no information. He's going into gas. I'm just not sure if he has the time to get Hellions up. If he does, then suddenly this is going to go great for him.
If he can get a bunker up as well. The thing is, with SCV pulls from YoDa, he should be fine. MarineKing will get a slightly better economy. He sees nothing, he starts a bunker, but MarineKing denies the bunker.
Oh, SCV cuddling is already going on. Here's the first Marine. Here comes MarineKing. He will have more Marines.
Yeah, MarineKing will have more Marines, but right now he's actually fighting against the Terran player who has equal Marines plus the SCVs, and YoDa's tech advantage is going to be much better than MarineKing forcing this mining time off. And when you do this against a Zerg player, he can't really counterattack you. But when you do this against a Terran player, he's going to have Banshees or Hellions in your main if you're not careful.
He needs to do damage now, and he knows it. This bunker, he most likely will not be able to do anything about it. He has to go past it. So many SCVs already gone, but the bunker is ready, and the first Marine is in.
Worker count even at 13 right now, but YoDa with a much better tech. He's got the orbital up as well. And I feel YoDa is now miles ahead of MarineKing in this game.
MarineKing has to run past this bunker.
Yeah.
This is the only thing that he basically can do. If he goes home and tries to play a catch-up game, I'm not quite sure if he can really pull this off. It's going to be
what
so
he could
difficult.
do is pull all of his SCVs and try to use those to run by, and try to hit before YoDa is ready.
He goes to
he has more
expand.
Marines, but he tries to expand here, and YoDa could just crush this. And YoDa has seen it as well. He's going to even be able to deny this with an attack here.
YoDa is now adding his factory. MarineKing is just trying to run back
MarineKing
with the
has not
tail
even
between his
started
legs.
gas. That's how behind he is tech-wise.
This is not looking good for MarineKing, not at all. The expansion, of course, gives him a little bit of an edge, but on the other hand, we have YoDa with such a huge lead in economy.
His barracks are in the air. He's moving them back right now. One goes into scout, which is pretty smart, so he can see if his opponent is going for banshees or not. And there's no way that YoDa can really hide that at this point, so that's one thing that MarineKing has going for him.
Yeah.
And the question becomes now, what is MarineKing's follow-up?
For YoDa, what we're going to see now is, of course, the Hellion attack with the Medivac. He already has the starport being built, and MarineKing needs to defend against this somehow. He knows exactly what's coming. He has seen it with the barracks. The barracks, of course, is going to burn down here, but it's going to be a problem for MarineKing to hold. He has a good amount of Marines, thanks to his double barracks opening. He already has 8.
Yeah.
But against a good Hellion control,
Plus the medevacs. The medevac healing power is going to be a big problem. He needs to make sure that, honestly, I feel MarineKing should make a bunker right now at his ramp. Because if he doesn't have that, the Hellions are going to run in for free. Even if he only has 1 Marine in there, it makes a big difference, and there it is. Oh, he cancels it for some reason.
he shows only 1 Hellion. Here comes the bunker. He wanted to have this factory first. The Medivac will, of course, circumvent the bunker, will drop into the main base. And YoDa needs to do damage. He still doesn't have an expansion, and he doesn't even plan on starting one.
He could rush up here with his Hellions before the bunker is done and do some AoE damage. He does certainly exactly that. And with the reinforcements coming in, the medevac rallying in, this could be tragic for MarineKing.
It could indeed. More and more SCVs are already being targeted by the Marines and the Hellions. Those Hellions just landing so much AoE damage, and they can take down MarineKing's SCV forces. He lost a lot of harvesters already.
The bunker is done, but he only has 2 Marines in it. He lost most of his Marines before the bunker was ready.
He lost 12 SCVs as well.
But now YoDa is just going to elevator over these rocks. I feel he should. Yeah, he's going to do it. MarineKing is totally vulnerable to the backdoor expansion here, where he's getting most of his income right now with that gold patch, where he's dropping his mules.
MarineKing doesn't see it.
He does not have a depot. This is something that YoDa already added earlier on at his own base.
And here come the Hellions. He's dropping the Hellions too. He's going into a Banshee follow-up. MarineKing has the first Marauder out, but here come those Marines and the Hellions, killing the mules, taking down additional SCVs. Once again, MarineKing with problems. Oh my god, nearly using all those SCVs to defend here, trying to block off, but he's clustering them up, and the Hellions are having a great day.
MarineKing attempts to split his SCVs a little bit here, but they can't really fight like that. The last of the MarineKing's units are being taken out now. He can pick up, get away, and like you said, the Banshee follow-up is going to be quite severe.
And MarineKing is down to 7 harvesters. Yes, he has the expansion, he has the double SCV production, but this is really going to help him. Not against YoDa, who has his second base up and is just now upgrading it to an orbital command.
Yeah. And the Banshee alone should be able to do so much damage. Whether he's killing harvesters or whether he's killing Marines, there's not a... Yeah, exactly. He can actually just fight them.
With good micro,
he'll kill them all.
Exactly. There is no combat shield. With good micro, he's just going to take them down.
The only thing he can hope for is the Banshee comes in near the bunker and the Marines can jump in and hide. He does not even start a Viking, he starts a medevac.
How likely is that?
Well, I'd say the chances are less than 2%. And here they go. The Banshee comes in the main. The Marines are being made 3 at a time, but this Banshee is just going to have a fun time. The Marines and the SVs are already damaged as well.
Takes down so many, MarineKing is down to 10 harvesters. It's losing even more, and look at those Marines. They are just trying to make something happen, anything. But he takes them out one by one, good micro, nice stutter step, 7 kills on the Banshee. MarineKing is at 28 supply against 53.
Now we have the add-ons being switched once more for YoDa, who will start more medevacs, putting him up to 3 when he starts his first 2, getting his stim out. He is doubling MarineKing's supply.
Not only that, he has more SCV supply than MarineKing has total supply.
Yeah. I mean, MarineKing is, with his normal GG timing here, I mean, there's actually quite literally nothing he can do to catch up. He can't drop. He can't take a hidden expansion, not on this map, especially where it's so far away. If he floated to the bottom left with the command center, and somehow YoDa didn't scout it, and YoDa just sat back. Maybe he could win.
I actually think what he could do is he could now run over to YoDa's booth, pull the plug, run back to his PC, and then maybe turn it around.
Yeah, he could claim that it was YoDa's hardware, it was his fault.
Yeah.
He would then have to rely on the fact that nobody was watching. And since Kauter already put the idea forth, I think people are already checking very carefully behind us.
I actually think, I'm not quite sure about the setting here, but I feel we have a few cameras in the studio that would probably catch it.
Yes. This is a hopeless case for MarineKing. These Hellions could fight until Stim is ready, but he doesn't know if Stim is done or not, so he runs away. Sensor tower going up for YoDa, so no sort of crazy MarineKing versus Nada scenario will ensue with Medivacs trying to do a base exchange.
YoDa is just not taking any risks here. He's looking at the game and he's like, okay, well, I'm just gonna play this safe now. I am so far ahead that there is literally no way for me to lose this if I don't fall into a trap. So if I just go for normal timing, I'm so far ahead in economy, I killed so much, then I cannot lose this game. I'm gonna win this, I'm not gonna give you an opening at all, MarineKing.
Yeah, this is going to be a YoDa who has better upgrades. He will have combat shields first over MarineKing, which is going to be a big deal. He has siege tanks, 2 of them against none. Takes control of the watchtower. MarineKing's army is now trapped in the middle of the map. YoDa, all he has to do is find it. It's a game of hide and seek for MarineKing right now. He's just hoping he can be hidden.
YoDa has hundreds of years of experience and he's using them.
Yep.
But MarineKing is back to 74 supply. His upgrades, of course, are not nearly where YoDa's are. We have now +2 being researched. Even the Banshee is still in the mineral line, but this time MarineKing takes it out.
MarineKing loses a medevac, though, while he's microing against the Banshee in the middle of the map. YoDa remains ahead, about 40 supply. Gets a scan here, just wants to see what are you doing, MarineKing. You know, I know you stay in games, but I'm trying to figure out what it is exactly that you're doing this time. Are you continuing to build only bio units? Are you trying to do something sneaky? Are you trying to do an air transition maybe? I mean, it's a bit too low of an economy for him to be doing something like that, but YoDa's just making sure he's got his 3rd command center done now.
Those upgrades for YoDa, +2/+2 being researched, him having a better medevac count, starting to drop now, the rest of the forces being sent in. The army supply is 76 against 50. We have a huge lead in upgrades for YoDa. He also, just let's have a quick look at the count here. 50 Marines against 30, 3 tanks against 2, 6 against 4. Medivacs, and here comes the drop.
Yep, drop into the main base is going to kill every SCV. That MarineKing does not have with this army right now. 2 siege tanks get some great shots off for YoDa. The Marine drop is doing a ton of damage in the main. He can get out, move away. This will allow YoDa to reposition his army closer to the ramp.
Does not need the Vin Diesel afterburners to get out of there in time.
Yeah.
This is still Wings of Liberty, but it does not matter. MarineKing now with another problem right at his natural while he's trying to move in and defeat those tanks. He will clean those tanks up, but at what cost?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about Wings of Liberty, but there's no liberty for MarineKing. He's not free to move around the map, not with these drops, not with the siege up that was outside of his base. He chases this drop away only to find another drop at his gases. He's not mining any gas right now because of these drops. And in fact, will lose his refinery if he doesn't repair it.
MarineKing is running from the left to the right and back to the left. YoDa is in possession of a third command center now. He has another sensor turret at the bottom right, aggressive sensor tower.
It's basically a manner sensor turret. It lets him know if MarineKing moves out. That certainly is true, but I think it's more so a diss at this point.
+2/+2 is nearly done. Then YoDa will have a significant upgrade lead over his opponent too. Another drop at the bottom right. Let's have a quick look at how many harvesters YoDa killed over the course of this game. 43 SCVs killed by YoDa against MarineKing's 5.
MarineKing is the type of player who will try a risky opening and then try to transition out of it no matter what, relying on his opponent making a mistake, and sometimes that has actually given him victories. I just do not feel this is going to be one of those times with 2-2 finishing up now for YoDa. He drops again. This keeps MarineKing in his base once more. He will never touch YoDa's 3rd base if he has to keep coming back with this. He'll finally clean up the medevac with the Vikings.
MarineKing is known to fight until the last unit. YoDa from the beginning had such a huge lead, and MarineKing is still far, far behind, but MarineKing will always fight. The upgrades are just insane. Just think about what we see on the production tab now. A +3 armor upgrade has been started for YoDa, whereas MarineKing just now gets his 2nd engineering bay and his armory.
Yeah. I mean, just looking at those things alone, it tells the tale of economies in this game.
What YoDa is doing here is basically just think about it and be like, okay, I could try to end this early. I could try to rush in and take you down. But
that's just what you want, MarineKing.
Exactly. That's exactly what you want. I might lose. I might just mess something up and run into a trap, so I'm gonna play this as safe as possible. Macro it up. You will have nowhere near the economy that I have. I take my third base, and I will get so far ahead of you that I take this, that the game might last another 15 minutes, but I'm gonna win it for sure.
Yeah. MarineKing gets his first vision now of the third base of his opponent, but it might not matter. He might die here. This is that attack MarineKing was hoping for. He actually has a lot of siege tanks in position here, and will trade decently well against YoDa's army. But the thing is, YoDa's units are so heavily upgraded that he can actually break through the Bioforce. But this is the closest they've been in supply since the beginning. MarineKing was really happy with that engagement. He sees the third base of his opponent now. He knows there's no fourth. He checked for that as well. But MarineKing now is in a position where he's not as behind as he was. He's just really, really behind now.
Yeah, not really, really, really behind, but really, really behind.
Exactly.
MarineKing is still on 2 bases, trying to establish himself this third. But we have now YoDa with +3 armor halfway done and +3 attack started. Still 30 supply ahead, going in again, making sure that this third base is not going to become a reality for MarineKing. He has the units in position, doubling his opponent's Marines, chasing away this command center.
Will not escape if he doesn't want it to. Looks like he's going to actually have to turn back for just a second. The command center will not land. He has to repair it. MarineKing is using all of his resources to keep this command center alive. And now YoDa's just going to continue to say, no, you can't have this command center.
+3 armor is going to finish before MarineKing has a second upgrade for either attack or armor.
And MarineKing is trying to siege his way in here. He's going to use the Vikings. He has air control right now to try to maybe pick off these medevacs and also just move his siege tanks forward and take this base. Even with air control, he moves his siege tank a little bit too close. He loses it.
Yep.
That's always a very unfortunate mistake to make.
60 supply lead now for YoDa in this economy. Sensor turrets everywhere, exactly what he needs. Here comes MarineKing again, trying to go in. That's what he does, sending all his Marines in. He knows he needs this third. He cannot win the game without one. And he takes down the tanks.
He does. The problem is YoDa's second army, which is basically twice as big as MarineKing's. He has more than double the army supply.
Exactly. YoDa has 105 army supply against 55 of MarineKing.
Yeah, MarineKing's army is halfway consisting of SCVs. When you look at it on the screen there and you see it, all the units are clumped up, it's hard to really tell what's in that army. But that was mostly SCVs now that are mining at the third. You can see how puny the army looks now. This army right here that YoDa has is actually bigger than MarineKing's, and that's not even all of his army. He's got a big force here. He also has those double medevacs. MarineKing is surrounded from all angles. He's got nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. This planetary may even have to be canceled. I don't think so. YoDa's actually not attacking from 2 fronts here. He could be doing this while attacking his other army. Now he does it.
Yeah. Now he's trying to move in again. Backs off for now. Even still with a 50 supply lead. MarineKing is still in a position where he's now mined out in his main base. He's about to be mined out at his natural 2. He really needs this lifeline, this third base. And YoDa so far has granted him this extra income. But for MarineKing to come back, he needs a lot more than this. He's trying, and he's trying really hard. I mean, he's really doing his best to stay in this game. And on the one hand, this is sometimes a little bit weird to see MarineKing is trying to turn things around for this long, but on the other hand, it's also a trait that won him several games. He was behind in so many matches and was in the end able to come back because an opponent got a little bit too overconfident, got complacent, made mistakes, and MarineKing was able to get back into the picture. But with YoDa, I don't feel this is going to happen. YoDa knows that this is his chance to get into Kodes. You don't take that lightly.
Yeah. YoDa should actually have another command center already at one of his bases. He finishes it at his third, but with this map control, with his sensor towers that I can only describe as BM because they're so badly placed otherwise, I don't know why he would make them like that. He needs to be having more bases. He should be making more production facilities. If MarineKing takes one engagement, he can turn this game around. He has to take the engagement well, but that's why he's still in this game, because he's hoping for it, you know, and he has air control that really allows him to bully his opponent. He just barely lost air control now if you look at the numbers, but it's still about the micro. With 4 Vikings against 6, if YoDa doesn't have all of his Vikings together, he could still lose the fight.
YoDa could have been a little bit more persistent about denying this third base. He, as you said, had 2 armies being split up, and allowing MarineKing to get this third was definitely a mistake that he made. He had the vision, he had the sensor towers, he knew exactly where the army was, there was no chance for a flyby. He's going into +3 attack upgrades now for his siege tanks too, which is once again one of the things that gives him an edge, and extra bases are of course for YoDa easy to take. He has the map.
Yeah, he does, and I mean, if you look at army supply now, it's actually much closer than it once was, 133 to 109, still in favor of YoDa, but that's because the harvester count is much better for YoDa as well at 54 to 35, so 20 of the supply difference comes into those workers.
But I have to say, YoDa is losing ground here.
Yeah, he's not really trying to accomplish anything. He's actually just walking back and forth with his army in the middle of the map. I think I've seen him do it 10 times now.
This is one of the things that should not happen in such a game, and MarineKing is still far behind, so let's not get this wrong, but YoDa had several chances to end this game, several chances also to just make sure that even if he tries to starve MarineKing, he can do it. He's now getting additional bases, which is exactly what he should in this situation. The problem is it should have never come to this position. He still has an upgrade lead, he has the better economy, he has the map control, he knows what's going on, the better army, he has also the lead in air units. But why let it come to this point? This third base, why allow it? There is no reason for him to do that, not with twice the army supply.
He should load a bunch of medevacs and try to drop and then use the bank that he should have had from having other bases. He literally has his units on patrol command in the middle of the map, walking back and forth. He now turns it off.
He's getting everything that he needs in the late game. He's getting all the upgrades that he wants. He's getting also his starports. I feel that he has decided that MarineKing is granted a third base but will never get a fourth. But that is already a mistake. He should have denied the third.
Yeah.
And he could have easily. He had only a tiny force down there. He had twice the army supply of MarineKing. He had much better upgrades. Now on the Bioforce, they are on even upgrades. Why let that happen?
Exactly. Why let this happen? MarineKing now is trying to figure out an engagement point. Like I said, the only way MarineKing can come back in this game is if he takes an engagement really well and then starts to kill YoDa's bases, which YoDa's bases are way later than they should be. He's finally starting to accumulate a bank, but MarineKing will too. He's only 13 supply away from max. +3 for siege tanks is going to be very far ahead for YoDa, and he's also going to have the building plating for his planetary here.
He also has, of course, a sick bank. I mean, this is something that MarineKing just can't have in this situation.
MarineKing has the better siege tank count, the better medevac count. He's missing on the Marines, and he does not have the one Thor that YoDa has in his army.
It's like YoDa is afraid from winning this game.
Yeah, I mean, it seems that way for sure. YoDa is just not able to deal with MarineKing's positioning here, at least not extremely well.
I feel YoDa has to take a deep breath. It looks worse than it actually is. We have 3,000 minerals and nearly 2,000 gas for YoDa, still the better upgrades, much more bases, but he needs to take a deep breath, calm down, and just think about how much of a good player he is and that this game was won a long time ago.
Yeah, MarineKing actually takes a piece of him, does a big stem, takes down a few of the siege tanks. With a few more shots, MarineKing could take a supply lead in this game. Right now, YoDa is playing a game where even though he has 2,500... Well, hold that thought. We're going to have the engagement here, and MarineKing takes an advantage of the Marines alone.
Uh-oh, but those tanks are exposed.
But now he's lost position. And YoDa has to run back home to defend his bases, which are not planetaries. MarineKing could actually kill these. He will.
He's going up the ramp.
And now he can get a position on the high ground of this ramp. And he's going to take out both command centers if he wants to.
The Vikings, he's taking down the Vikings as well.
MarineKing dead even in supply.
Still way behind in bank though.
And he will get that command center. MarineKing is ahead in supply, ladies and gentlemen. He will lose his siege tanks though at the front here. He's not in a good position.
Yeah, the siege tank count is now 11-7 in favor of YoDa. YoDa is building 13 Marines at the time, is getting his siege tank count up again.
Yeah, YoDa is remaxing faster than MarineKing. MarineKing does not have enough medevacs to heal his entire army. He has 84 Marines wanting heals, and it's taken a really long time for him to get that. He has control of the watchtower now, though.
5 Vikings are being built at a time for YoDa. He is not going into battle cruisers or anything like this, but he will have the air dominance. He will have the better vision for his siege tanks, and suddenly this game is exciting again.
Yeah, MarineKing is going now into the space to the top right. YoDa cannot turn around this time. He needs to go for a counterattack. If he tries to turn around here, he can kill MarineKing's army maybe, but he's being so indecisive. Both of them are at this point. MarineKing decides to send his army down in the middle of the map as well, but he's lost control of the watchtower. This is the type of scenario where MarineKing excels in base trades, weird scrappy situations. This is why he stayed in this game.
MarineKing was down to 7 SCVs. YoDa, what on earth?
Well, this is what many people refer to as sloppy play. MarineKing comes forward, takes down these siege tanks. He now has control of the production facilities. He has a better siege up here. The Vikings are starting to be a little bit annoying. One concern is MarineKing's hit points are so low on his Marines.
The bank of YoDa is gone. This game is about to be dead even again. The upgrades are still a little bit better for YoDa. He's trying to chase those units of his opponent away. He has the air dominance now. Viking count is currently 7-1. A drop to the bottom left would do so much for YoDa now, but he can't spare any units here. MarineKing is falling behind in supply. Finally, YoDa already realizing that his waypoint is a little bit off for those starports that he has to the top right. He's not losing additional Vikings to his opponent's army just because he's flying right into it.
You know, MarineKing has way more Marines than YoDa right now, partially due to those Vikings. You can only have 200 supply on the map at one given point in time. And with all these Vikings out on the map for YoDa, yeah, he has air control, but making more Vikings than he already has is not really an efficient use of resources, I feel, because MarineKing has a better ground army. If they both fight while they're both on siege, MarineKing's army will crush YoDa's because he has more Marines. He has that better DPS density. YoDa is trying to figure out what to do, man. This whole game, he has just seemed a little bit uncertain. The supply is even. MarineKing is trying to build a bank now with this new base he's established. He has the better banking gas, but obviously the better mineral bank goes to YoDa for a little bit longer.
Yeah, this Thor is one-shotted by all those siege tanks.
Yep, that Thor, not so useful anymore.
Here we go.
On siege, he sieges up again. This is maybe a mistake by YoDa. He's got to get out. That was close.
That was really close. Viking count is now down a bit for YoDa, but he's immediately replacing them with 3 additional ones. He wants to pressure the medivacs of MarineKing, wants to make sure that his air dominance is still holding, that he has the better vision, that MarineKing is forced to get all those scans in.
Yeah, MarineKing throws away a medevac here to see how many Vikings his opponent has. He actually will save it, and he could get the medevacs, or rather the Vikings. Oh, he's going to lose a medevac full of units. Nice targeting by YoDa.
Yeah. And now MarineKing is dropping in supply, and he's dropping fast. He's down to 173 again. He's struggling a little bit to get this additional money into the game. Don't forget that we have better bases for YoDa, top right and left center. MarineKing is trying to break through, and he's running right into his opponent's army where the siege tanks.
A great position for YoDa, or rather for MarineKing. He picks off the siege tanks on the right side. Then he wants to fight Marine versus Marine because he knows he has that better count. Once he sees the positioning of YoDa's siege tanks on the left, he pulls back again. He needs to get more SCVs over here. Neither player wants to make a single SCV right now. They can't spare the resource. They're both at 34 and 33. YoDa in the lead by 1. Viking gets sniped.
Still, what an amazing comeback by MarineKing. This is one of those games that nobody ever thinks
This is actually a good position for him as well. The siege tanks in position.
Siege tanks are not there, but MarineKing is dropping his supply a lot faster than his opponent. He's losing a lot of his ground though. Finally, the siege tanks taking part in the battle.
That was a good angle for MarineKing. He was down in supply. He took a fight that was not cost efficient, but it was the best trade he could take. And now positionally, he's kind of cut YoDa off from reinforcing onto that high ground.
YoDa has the better income on the other hand. He still has the better income in this game. He's 30 supply ahead of his opponent. He's trying to go in again. Here comes MarineKing sieging up.
He's going to push down a lot of these siege tanks.
He definitely will, but he's losing a lot of Marines in the process, and now he's down to 80 supply. MarineKing is once again far behind, but what a comeback. Him actually getting into this position is crazy.
This is insane. He has no drops because he knows his opponent has sensor towers everywhere, so dropping on one of these bases is just too risky, especially with all these Vikings out, so he's kind of stuck to fighting again and again without really being able to deny his opponent's bases.
His income is getting worse and worse now that the mineral patches at the bottom left are gone. He's only relying on this one base, and with all those SCVs, he's actually about to oversaturate it. We have 2 mining bases for YoDa, which is so much better. Just look at how fast he grows in supply now. Again, he's 50 supply up.
Yeah, he takes out one of those siege tanks, just stims in and takes it out for a better trade. Especially when you have the better income than your opponent and you know it, which YoDa can see with his sensor towers right now. He could even take another base with that one base that has a few mineral patches left. He could take it. This is going to be the end of MarineKing. I feel he's cornered quite literally here.
Too much. This time it is too much. He's cornered, and there they are. The Marines are moving in. Only a few siege tanks are left. 65 supply for MarineKing, and we have still a lot for YoDa with 120 and the better income. He should just be able to overwhelm MarineKing. This position at some point will fall.
Well, you know, I'm a little bit scared to speak on the topic considering what has happened in this game already, but
true enough.
Let's just watch it unfold because MarineKing is now, I feel, even further behind than he was in the beginning of the game. If you consider what's left on the map and his position, he's literally cornered here. He can't even get his army out. The Vikings are going to start hovering around and picking off the medevacs because there's not enough Marines to even chase.
And now we have the command center itself under pressure. The orbital is being attacked by one of the siege tanks. He's going to siege forward with a few more pretty soon, I guess. And this is the last mining base for MarineKing. He has to hold here. He has to fight. He can't retreat.
Yep, he stims, tries to take out some of these medevacs. He gets a siege up position here, but his tanks are already gone. YoDa's through here. GG!
What a comeback by MarineKing.
Many would have argued that game was over at around the 11-minute mark, but 4 times the length of that was played out. And affecting YoDa's mind is definitely something he's going to have to keep under control. You know, MarineKing definitely getting over his head a little bit in this game, and going into game 2.
I actually feel that YoDa saw how far ahead he was and didn't take it serious enough at some point. He was like, there's no way for you to come back into this game. This is so over. This is just typically you not leaving a match. But this is exactly the proof why MarineKing is always staying in these games. Because a few mistakes and bam, he's back. YoDa allowing him to take a third base, and suddenly it looked a lot closer than it should have been. Great play by MarineKing. YoDa takes the win though, and he's ahead in the series.
Yeah, YoDa is up 1-0, wants to dethrone the MarineKing. They both fall from Kodas, but only one will be able to get back there. The next map is Whirlwind, a big map, another large map, so MarineKing fighting back, clawing back tooth and nail, but not able to take the end of the game. There were a few moments, a few engagements where I thought, you know, maybe this kid's got it.
It's not over until the fat lady sings.
Yeah, and I don't even see any of those in the studio right now.
Yeah, not today. Whirlwind is going to be map number 2. YoDa with a 1-0 lead. MarineKing, he stayed in this game a long time. He nearly turned it around. In the end, YoDa was still able to win it. He has to do it again though. One win is not enough. Will he do it on Whirlwind? The game has started, guys, get ready. TVT, MarineKing versus YoDa, GSL Code A. We are in the 3rd round and we're jumping into our next match. MarineKing versus YoDa.